Hi, I'm Gina Wagers, and I'm going to be talking about my school community in which I work. I'm going to mainly focus on the H.D. Carnes building, which is the building that I work in. We house several different programs in this building itself. It used to be the ninth grade building, and since we've built a new high school now that houses 9 through 12, this building kind of became a hub for several new programs in our district. We have the 7th and 8th grade magnet program, which is the students that I work with. It's an academic program for Tier 2 and Tier 3 students who need a different setting for learning or need more support with reading and math. We also house an alternative program for high school students in this building, so students who are behind on credits or who need to get caught up. And then we also house the Boys and Girls Club program for our district in this building as well. Since I work with the 7th and 8th graders in the magnet program, I'm mainly going to be focusing on that portion of our building for this presentation. Customs and traditions, as far as the district level, homecoming is a pretty big event. We do have a pretty big emphasis on sports and involvement in sports, so that's always something that people look forward to. And it is celebrated kind of throughout the district. We offer spirit weeks for even as low as elementary school. They participate at the same time that the high school is doing theirs, just so that they can feel included as well. As far as our building and the magnet program in particular, this is only the 3rd year of the magnet program, so we don't really have a ton of traditions or customs yet. One thing that we have done each year, though, is put together an 8th grade promotion ceremony. It's like a recognition night and a celebration before those students leave 8th grade and start 9th grade. We also have a summer program that we do every year. It's an extended learning opportunity where we take 2 weeks and we pick a theme and we do a lot of hands-on learning and incorporate some field trips. It's become a pretty big expectation for our program because it is pretty popular, but it also helps us to do a large portion of our recruiting so that we can get more students for the next school year. Population characteristics, the demographics of our building in particular, as far as education attainment and occupations of our families, we have about 20% who do not have high school diplomas. We do have a local Foot Locker plant and Russell Stover factory, so a lot of parents have jobs with those. About 78% of our families have high school diplomas or some kind of technical training. Within our building in particular, we do have a small portion of military-connected families this year, but our district, that percentage is much, much higher because we are so close in proximity to Fort Riley, and we are pretty unique in that situation in that we have several elementary schools and a middle school on Fort Riley itself that are kind of owned and operated by the district. And then less than 2% of our families are college educated or kind of business owners. As far as the age breakdown of the magnet program, we serve 7th and 8th graders. So this year we have about 20 7th graders and 22 8th graders. Pretty even split between boys and girls. We have 20 girls and 22 boys this year. As far as race and ethnicity breakdown, we've got 26 white families or students and 16 non-white. And we do have a pretty good representation of different groups from different ethnicities or nationalities. Communication within the community here, I think, relies a lot on social media just because of the availability and time of people to check it at their convenience. So Facebook is a pretty big way that we communicate with parents and families in the district. The district does itself have a pretty big Twitter presence and a hashtag that they use at any kind of event throughout the district at the different schools. They encourage to post with the hashtag so that all of that information can kind of get into one place. We do have web pages at the district and individual school level. And then YouTube is something newer that our newer superintendent has started utilizing just to post interviews, share messages, things like that. As far as broadcast media, we do get featured sometimes in the newspaper, especially for sports or different events with students participating in the community. And then we do have a text alert system that pushes out notifications to parents for things that are more pressing and important. Community groups, we do have a YMCA here. Club sports are also a large portion of what takes up a lot of families' times here in the community. These are non-district sponsored sports, and so a lot of families that their children go to school together, they also participate in these club sports together. So there's a lot of overlap between these groups. We do have 3 or 4 larger churches here in town as well. And there's a lot of participation and involvement with youth groups, religious education, church groups, and there's overlap between that and schools as well. As far as leadership, a lot of parents are connected with local businesses here, whether they own them or co-own them or know the owners of them, especially at the elementary level too. So if there's any need for donations or things like that, a lot of those connected parents are in leadership positions like PTA or PTO. So a lot of times they'll be able to network with those businesses and local leaders to kind of get resources to schools. There is a lot of overlap too between church leadership and district leadership. We do have several Board of Education members who are pretty involved in local churches that are on the Board of Education. They do influence the academic calendar, and I know they usually try to plan around stuff so that if there's religious education or events going on, that they don't overlap too much with district events. Economic conditions, we do have quite a bit of financial support for education here. We do have at least 2 or 3 Title I elementary schools in our district. Because of our military connectedness, we have several Purple Star Award schools. Federal impact aid is a huge part of what helps us do what we can do for our students here too. And then at the state level, just like many other schools in the state during especially COVID-19, we really benefited from having those free meals for our students and things like that. Local economic conditions and just the attitude towards public education in general. We did just finish building a brand new high school. It was a very controversial topic because we don't have a lot of other financial support from the community itself. We have a lot of high need families here. And so there was a lot of concern over raising taxes or how that would financially impact the community here. So political power and structure is kind of unique here. At the district level, it's very much a traditional top-down where the superintendent works closely with the Board of Education to give information to district administrators, and then district administrators work with building admin, and then building admin work with their building staff to get things done, and then that information kind of trickles down and is shared with students, families, and the larger community. However, in the HD Carnes building, especially with the program that I work with, because it is newer, when it was first created, we had a third-party company from outside of the state working with us, providing us curriculum and support, and so the district was not very involved in the creation of those programs. A lot of us more experienced teachers were tasked with working with this third-party company to really get the program up and running. So we had a lot more autonomy, and I would say that the model looked more like a bottom-up, where we were providing our input on decision-making and things like that. So it's been kind of an interesting contrast between district-level decision-making and our building-level decision-making. I think this too then has also created some tensions, especially this year, because this year our contract with that third-party company is up, and so the district is becoming more involved with our curriculum, trying to become more involved with our scheduling and just decisions at our building level. And so I think it has been kind of a hard shift going from a bottom-up model to then kind of trying to reintegrate into that top-down model. So it has kind of created some tensions within our building into the district level. I think too, because we have 2 middle schools in our district that feed into our program, there has been some kind of tension between the recruitment process and trying to get kids from those schools into our program because it is an optional program. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about what our program is and really who it benefits. And I think if, given the opportunity to really build better relationships and really connect better with the staff and allow them to kind of see what's happening in our building would maybe help with some of that. As far as public opinion at the district level, I think across the board, we have generational opinions that have been shaped by prior experience in our schools. We have a lot of families who have been here, who have lived here, who have gone to school here themselves, that I think has influenced kind of the overall attitude and just involvement with school in general. And at our building level, I think because we house so many programs and we have some of the most difficult and challenging students in our building, the public perception is kind of that negative stereotype of these are the kids who are always in trouble, or these are the kids who are needing all this support. So it has kind of created some barriers and really helping us to establish the program and really get the public on board with supporting these types of programs in our district. I think too, the Board of Education has fueled some of that with the public as well, because we've presented our data in our program for the last 3 years, given updates to the Board of Education at the end of each school year. And there has been some open questioning of the funding of our program because we are only 6 certified teachers for our magnet program. We are a very small group of people working on this program. And so there's been a lot of criticism of the amount of money that's been spent on this program and the building in general that I think has made people question if it's something that's a worthwhile endeavor to keep around. So I think that has kind of influenced the public's perception of our building and our program as well. As far as multicultural issues, we don't really have too many issues within our building. We are unique in that we are the only building or program within our district that requires uniforms. I think it's an integral part of our mission, though, because we do emphasize a lot of that professionalism, college and career readiness, really getting kids on track and ready for the challenges of high school and beyond. I think, though, this can also be a good thing because it addresses issues of equity and access to clothing, right? A lot of families in our community are struggling and they do not have what the financial means to provide a lot of things for their students. And we do give each of our students a complete uniform set. So I think that kind of helps offset some of that need. So what areas need the most work? I think our power structure, just knowing that we're undergoing some really big changes this year with not having that third-party company involved and that the district is becoming more involved with our curriculum and processes within our building, kind of finding that balance between district level decision-making and building level decision-making is going to be really important for us. I think also just working on that public opinion and getting people more on board with the benefits of our program and having us around in the district to support those students and their high needs. I think if we create more opportunities for engagement and involvement throughout the school year and not maybe just during the summer, that could help with some of that perception and give people an opportunity to get more involved with our building and our program. So this assignment demonstrates an understanding of promoting the current and future success of students and adults through evaluating how knowledgeable I am about the needs of my school's community. Through understanding the diverse needs of the school community, I can evaluate the strengths of the relationships between stakeholders and then also determine what resources and services can be utilized or developed in order to strengthen student learning and support school improvement. This assignment is relevant to my learning because it helped me to better understand the connection between community demographics and the influence it can have over the decision-making process of a school's building administrator. This assignment improved my understanding of community engagement because I have gained knowledge about the ways in which a community's schools, especially when they're connected with other stakeholders, can provide support and resources to families beyond just the education that a student receives in the classroom. This assignment will definitely influence my decisions as a future school leader because I have a better understanding of how the diverse needs of a community shape the way in which schools and school staff engage with families and other stakeholders. I think through reflecting on my community, I have had the opportunity to identify areas of need and to consider what strategies my school currently implements to support and engage families.